A very good noon to one and all. Now today, in this lecture, we will move on to the new topic, that is screw thread measurement. So coming to the introduction about the screw thread measurement. So what is the screw threads, and what are the general applications of screw threads, and what are the various types or various classification of screw threads. So one by one we will discuss about this. Now we will try to understand the general aspects of screw threads. These are most important elements, mission elements, and are used in screws, bolts, nuts, studs, tapped holes, and other power transmission devices. So they are convenient for joining and sealing purposes. These are used as coarse type for bracket fitments, and as a very fine type for micrometer heads and for precision moving mechanisms. So it's basically a helical ridge produced by forming a continuous helical groove of uniform cross section on an external or internal surface of a cylinder or a cone. So in this picture, the helical ridge produced and cross section is uniform for all the threads. So a screw thread formed on a cylinder is known as straight or parallel screw thread, while the one formed on a cone is known as tapered thread. So you can see some tapered thread. It has internal and external tapered threads. Okay, so this is about the screw thread. Okay, now what are the general applications of screw threads are? So they are used for fastening purpose. So that means screws, nuts, bolts, and studs are used for temporarily fixing one part onto the another. So they are also used for joining. So that means coaxial joining of rods, tubes, etc. by external and internal screws, and they are also used for clamping. So to strongly hold an object by a threaded rod, as in C clamps, vices, and tailstock on the lathe bed. So these are used for clamping. So and they are also used for controlled linear movement. That means for travel of slides and movement of work tables in milling, shaping, CNC machine tools, etc. And these screw threads used for transmission of motion and power. For example, lead screw used in lathe. Okay, and these are also used for converting rotary motion to translation. That means rotation of screw causing linear travel of nut, which have wide use in machine tool kinematic systems. Okay, and these are for position control in instruments. Examples like screws enabling precision movement of work table in microscopes. Okay, and these are for precision measurement of length. Example for this, the threaded spindle of micrometers. So to get the very slow rotation, we can use screw threads in the form, example of gears or worm wheels. Okay, and to exerting heavy force, means example for mechanical presses are there. Okay, and the screw threads are also used for conveying and squeezing materials. So in screw conveyors, injection molding machines and screw pumps. Okay, and in controlled automatic feeding in mass production assembly, the screw threads are used. Okay, now we will discuss how these screw threads are classified. Okay, they are classified according to the location, that is, whether the screw threads are made on external surface, as in bolts, or whether they are made on internal surface, example, as in nuts. Okay, and they are also classified according to the configuration, that is, whether they are straight helical, for example, bolts and nuts, tapered helical, as in drill chucks. Okay, and also radial on scroll, as a self-centering chuck. Okay, so and screw threads also be classified according to the direction of helix, so whether they are right handed or left handed thread. Okay, now according to the form, so commonly V threads are preferred. So according to the form, we have a V thread, it means 80 degree or 55 degrees are used, and ACME thread, that means 29 degrees, and square thread, these are generally used in power screws, and buttress thread 45 degrees, and warm thread and 29 degrees. Okay, and now depending on whether full circle or semicircle used, semicircular threads are being used in circulating type of bolts and screws. Okay, and now according to the according to the standard, whether they are BSW thread, that means British standard with what thread. Uh, the, this thread size is designated as thread per inch or metric thread. So this size is specified by uh, pitch, that means mm. Okay, so according to the standard BSW thread, or whether they are using BSW thread or metric thread. And now according to number of start, so whether they are single start or double start or multi start, screw threads are preferred. So now according to the spacing of thread, that means TPI, thread per inch, or whether they are TPI or pitch or lead. Okay, so according to this spacing of thread, TPI or pitch. And now according to the compactness or fineness of threads, whether they are general or pipe or fine threads. Okay, and now according to the segmentation, so this is commonly used, full threads are commonly used. According to the segmentation means full threads, whether they are full threads or half turns, for example half nut used in lathe, and sector thread, that means jaws of lathe chucks. So how these threads are classified means, this is about the there is a classifications of screw threads. Okay, and now how these threads are made. There are many methods. Very common method is thread machining. So in this thread machining, we have turning, milling, and grinding, and tapping also is there. And now other methods, these are also this method, like thread rolling. Okay, other method is thread rolling. Okay, so these are the various methods used for thread making. Okay, I hope everyone understand this up to now. Introduction about the screw threads. That means screw thread and what are the applications of screw threads, and what are the various classifications of screw threads, and how we are making the screw threads. And now let us move on to the discussion screw thread terminology. So this is the main important topic in this lecture. So everyone please concentrate on this lecture. So this is the screw thread illustration. So this is the basic nomenclature of screw thread. So first one is screw thread. What is screw thread means? A screw thread is a continuous helical groove of a specified cross section produced on external or internal surface of cylinder or a cone. Okay, and now multiple start thread. So this is produced by forming two or more helical grooves equally spaced and similarly formed in an axial section on a cylinder. So this gives a quick traverse without sacrificing core strength. Okay, and now crust. So crust is the prominent part of the thread. That means top surface which joins the two sides of thread. Okay, and next root. Root is the bottom of the groove between the sides of two adjacent threads. Okay, and next one is flank. The straight surface between the crust and root is called flank. So straight surface between the crust and trough means which connects the crust with the root. Okay, so this is the flank. Now pitch. The distance measured parallel to the axis from a point on a thread to the corresponding point on the next adjacent thread is called pitch of the thread. Okay, I hope everyone understand this. And now lead. So lead is the distance through which a screw advances axially in one complete revolution. For a single start thread, that lead equal to pitch. So for a multi-start thread, lead equal to number of starts into pitch. That means lead equal to n into pitch, where n is a number of starts. Okay, and now next one is depth of thread. So it is the distance between the crust and root of the thread measured perpendicular to the axis of the thread, and it can also be defined as a distance measured radially between the major and minor diameters. Okay, now next one is thread angle or included angle. It is the angle included between the flanks or slopes of a thread measured in an axial plane. Okay, it is the angle included between the flanks or slopes of a thread measured in an axial plane. And next one is the flank angle. So the angle made by the flank of a thread with the perpendicular to the thread axis. Perpendicular to the thread axis is called flank angle, and it is equal to the half the thread angle. Okay, it's equal to the half the thread angle. And now lead angle on a straight thread. Lead angle is the angle made by the helix of the thread at a pitch line with the plane perpendicular to the axis. Okay, and next one is helix angle on a straight thread. The helix angle is the angle made by the helix of the thread at a pitch line with the axis. Okay, and next one is a major diameter. So it is the diameter of an imaginary coaxial cylinder which would touch the crusts of an external thread or roots of an internal thread. Okay, so it is also called as the external diameter or core diameter or outside diameter or full diameter of external threads. Okay, and next important one is a minor diameter. So it is the diameter of an imaginary coaxial cylinder which would touch the roots of an external thread or crusts of an internal thread. Okay, so everyone understand about the external and internal major and internal major and minor diameters. So in the major diameter, so the imaginary diameter of imaginary coaxial cylinder which would touch the crusts of an external thread, whereas in minor diameter it touches the roots of an external thread, and here in major diameter or roots of an internal thread, here roots of external thread or crusts of an internal thread. Okay, so reverse. Okay, so major diameter is also called as the external diameter, it is also called as the internal diameter. And now next one is next element one effective diameter or pitch diameter. So it is the diameter of an imaginary coaxial cylinder which intersects the flanks of the threads, intersects the flanks of the threads such that the widths of the threads and widths of the spaces between the threads are equal, each being half the pitch. Okay, so this is about the pitch diameter or effective diameter. Now important term is visual effective diameter or functional diameter. The functional diameter of an external or internal thread is the pitch diameter of the enveloping thread of perfect thread elements having full depth of engagement but clear at crusts and roots and of specified length. When added to the pitch diameter, the cumulative effects of deviations from specified profile for a specified length of engagement gives the functional diameter. So this is the clear cut information about the screw thread terminology nomenclature. Okay, so I hope everyone understand this concept. And next concept is what are the various errors in threads, screw threads. So the errors in screw threads can arise during its manufacture or during this storage. Okay, so there are 6 important elements of thread and errors in any one of these may cause the rejection. Thus, for inspecting the thread, we must take into consideration about the following elements. Those elements like major diameter, minor diameter, effective diameter, pitch, flank angles, and profile at crust and root. Okay, so in addition, concentricity of the various diameters must be controlled. So all these elements must be checked, and method of gauging must be able to cover all these elements. So errors in the major diameter may cause interference with the mating threads, or reduction in the flank contact, or in the case of internal threads, weakness by reduction of the wall thickness. So errors in the minor diameter may cause interference, or reduction of flank contact, or weakness by reduction of the cross section of the root. Okay, and errors in the effective diameter, it's determine the amount of slackness or interference between the flanks of the mating threads. With the major and minor diameters at their maximum limits, if the effective diameter is small, the threads will be thin on external screw and thick on an internal screw. The reverse conditions prevail if the effective diameter is above its basic value. So these errors would produce more noise in the assembly while running. So errors on pitch and errors on thread angle will result in progressive tightening and interference on assembly. So errors. Errors in pitch may cause errors like progressive error, drunken error, periodic error, or irregular errors, etc. Okay, so I hope everyone understand the errors in threads, how these errors may cause in the uh, manufacturing stage, manufacturing of threads, for making the threads or inspection of the threads. Okay, so mainly errors in screw threads can arise during its manufacture stage or storage. So main elements of the threads and errors at these elements. So those elements can be considered for inspection of thread. So those elements are major diameter, minor diameter, and effective diameter, pitch, flank angles, and profile at crest and root. Okay, so in the next lecture we will move on to the main concepts, measurements of various elements of thread. So elements means major diameter, minor diameter, effective diameter, pitch, flank angle, thread form. So various methods, for measuring these elements. We will discuss various instruments or various methods we are going to learn in this screw thread measurement concept. So I conclude this lecture. uh, so today in this lecture we will discuss about these, what is about a screw thread, and what are the various applications of screw thread, and how the screw threads are classified, and how screw threads are classified, and uh, what are the uh, how we are going to making the screw thread. Okay, and what are the nomenclature of screw thread, and what are the errors in threads. Okay, so I hope everyone understand this lecture. Please read well, stay home, stay safe. Bye.